Welcome to Futex. Antarctica, renowned for its extreme weather conditions, is blanketed in snow and ice in almost 98% of its landmass. On average, temperatures reach an astonishingly low -25 degrees Celsius. The lowest ever reading was -89.2 degrees Celsius. Wind speeds are normally around 17.8 meters per second, although they have been known to hit up to 100 meters when at their highest. These unpleasant conditions make it one of the least hospitable places on Earth for human inhabitants. Surprisingly though, a group of explorers from Europe and America claim to have stumbled upon at least 3 ancient pyramids standing in a triangular cone formation on the frozen ground. Due to the harsh climate, the exploration team cannot determine whether the pyramids are man-made or natural. They found 2 pyramids about 10 miles inland from Antarctica, and the third is very close to the coastline. There is no permanent settlement population on Antarctica and only a few research teams and whalers, making it the coldest, driest, and windiest continent on Earth. It has a polarized climate and an extremely cold climate. Therefore, it is referred to as the White Desert. It is shocking to find pyramids in such a barren place without human settlement. And modern theories have no explanation for them. According to Dr. Vanessa Bowman of the British Antarctic Survey, Antarctica had lush tropical rainforests 100 million years ago. There are many conspiracy theories about Antarctica, and many researchers believe it is not just ice and snow. Antarctica is governed by the Antarctic Treaty System, which is a series of international agreements that regulate the continent's use in scientific research. The treaty has been signed by 54 countries, including the United States, and prohibits military activities and the establishment of military bases on the continent. While there are scientific research stations in Antarctica operated by various countries, including the United States, a New Zealand reporter took a photo show a large lab just beside the pyramid. The lab is in an Antarctic Specially Protected Area, ASPA, Area 122. In fact, millions of years ago, Antarctica had everything except ice. Since antiquity, iconic structures have been an emblematic part of human civilization. The existence of structures composed of pyramids across the world suggests that this in particular was of tremendous importance to our ancestors. It is undoubtedly true that considering the weather conditions Antarctica is currently faced with, it wouldn't serve as a viable residence area. Yet there is much evidence suggesting it was populated around 170 million years ago when Gondwana was still a single continent. When tectonic drift took place 45 million years ago, the land split and formed Antarctica as we know it today. What we see now as ice and snow was once lush greenery, inhabited by numerous ancient organisms. And Antarctica used to be further north and had a tropical climate. Scientists are unable to study Antarctica for long because humans cannot survive for a long time there. In fact, Jane Francis from the University of Leeds told the BBC in an interview, "I still find the idea that Antarctica was once forested absolutely shocking. Although we have always considered Antarctica to be an icy wasteland, the Antarctic ice sheet is a relatively new phenomenon. A highly civilized country called Atlantis existed approximately 12,000 to 13,000 years ago on Earth, according to the Mayan calendar, Plato, and Solon. Atlantis was reputed to have had a highly civilized kingdom, produced a vast amount of gold and silver, had magnificent palaces and temples, a huge altar for sacrifice, and palace walls adorned with gold. Overnight, this civilization sank into the sea. Some scientists speculate that the Antarctic Pyramid may be a building left by the Atlanteans in Antarctica, since the pyramid in Antarctica dates back to the same time period as Atlantis. The discovery of the Antarctic Pyramid has sparked a great deal of debate amongst the scientific community. In particular, experts have uncovered signs of hydraulic erosion on past monuments in Egypt, which leads to the suggestion that the current arid climate of Egypt may have previously been a tropical rainforest. If this change in climate could occur so quickly and drastically, then would a similar transformation have taken place in Antarctica thousands or tens of thousands of years ago? If there was indeed a highly developed human civilization in Antarctica long ago, then is it possible that other structures lie buried beneath the snow and ice, only reappearing as global warming melts away the frozen blanket? About 170 million years ago, The land that is now covered in ice was part of a supercontinent called Gondwana. About 45 million years ago, changes in the Earth's crust caused the land to split. Historically, Antarctica was further north and had a tropical climate, and what we see now as ice and snow was once lush greenery inhabited by various ancient creatures. In 1929, a group of historians found an amazing map drawn on a gazelle skin. Research showed that it was a genuine document drawn in 1513 by Piri Reis. The map is famous for its accuracy and level of detail, especially considering the time period in which it was created. One of the most intriguing aspects of the Piri Reis map is the depiction of Antarctica. The map shows the continent in surprising detail, including its mountain ranges and river systems. This is particularly surprising given that Antarctica was not officially discovered until 1818, over 300 years after the map was created. The accuracy of the map's depiction of Antarctica has led some to speculate that Piri Reis had access to ancient maps or knowledge of a prehistoric civilization that had explored and mapped the continent. It's unlikely that there would be a map showing Antarctica in 1800 as the continent was largely unexplored and not yet fully discovered. Antarctica was only first sighted in 1820, and it wasn't until the late 19th and early 20th centuries that expeditions began to map the continent in more detail. The earliest known map of Antarctica dates back to 1773 and was created by British cartographer Samuel Dunn, but it is very basic and lacks many of the features that are included on modern maps of the continent. According to Dr. Charles Hapgood's book Maps of the Ancient Sea Kings published in 1979, there is evidence to suggest that accurate information about ancient maps has been passed down from generation to generation. Hapgood theorizes that these maps may have originated with an unknown civilization and were possibly passed down through the Minoans and the Phoenicians, who were some of the greatest sailors of the ancient world. It is believed that the Great Library of Alexandria in Egypt collected and studied these maps, and that they were compiled by geographers who worked there. Hapgood suggests that Piri Reis, the Ottoman admiral and cartographer, may have obtained some of these maps from the Library of Alexandria, which was considered one of the most important libraries of ancient times. Antarctica is a difficult place for researchers to study because humans cannot survive there for long periods of time. It is not possible to tell for certain whether humans lived on Antarctica in the past if it was a beautiful continent with lush forests and many ancient creatures. Researchers have found pollen in Antarctica, which indicates that the temperature was about 20 degrees Celsius in the past. The Desert Research Institute in Nevada discovered 32 types of bacteria in Lake Vita in eastern Antarctica in 2012, proving that Antarctica's climate was different in the past. A similar human civilization may have developed in Antarctica, creating many amazing structures, including pyramids. It has led many people to speculate that ancient civilizations may have developed in Antarctica, creating many amazing structures, including pyramids, just as there were ancient civilizations in Asia, Europe, and Africa. Do they come from man? However, there are other explanations that might shed light on the mysterious structures on the frozen continent, if they are not man-made. Zechariah Sitchin puts forward his argument that pyramids, including those of ancient Egypt, were built by extraterrestrial visitors who bestowed advanced technologies and helped progress civilization. He suggests they served a range of uses, including acting as observatories, communication channels to other planets and power plants for energy production. Sitchin posits that pyramids were intended as monuments to these ancient gods, but his ideas are largely dismissed by the scholarly community. Antarctica may have been a good place for civilization to develop for millions of years. It is evident that we will eventually discover the traces of an ancient civilization that existed here when Antarctica had a tropical climate and was lush with greenery. Could an ancient civilization have lived in Antarctica once it was warm enough? In conclusion, the discovery of pyramids in Antarctica has sparked much debate and discussion among scientists and researchers. While the harsh climate of Antarctica makes it difficult for humans to live there, evidence suggests that the continent was once a lush forest with a much warmer climate. This has led to speculation about the possibility of an ancient human civilization in Antarctica, and whether the pyramids discovered there could be evidence of such a civilization. The study of Antarctica remains difficult and expensive, but advancements in technology may allow for further exploration and understanding of this mysterious continent in the future. Thanks for watching.